I'll only vote aye on Judge Douglas and Mr. Blackwell, oppose the others. Douglas has the support of both of her home state senators. In an unusual development for this administration's nominees, she's actually answered the question of whether or not she believed in a living constitution approach to judging. I want to take a few minutes to talk about Mr. Garcia's nomination to D.C. Circuit. He graduated from law school in 2011 and clerked for Judge Thomas Griffiths and Justice Kagan. He also spent a few years in private practice before joining the Justice Department earlier this year. Now, it happens that we had a Trump nominee with very similar years of experience, a person that clerked for two prominent federal judges and a Supreme Court justice. Democrats at that time weren't impressed with that sort of recommendation, but they seem to be impressed with a person that has also demonstrated no abilities to serve, quote unquote, on a circuit court. So Mr. Garcia may have trouble getting those senators' votes unless those senators have a double standard. My opposition isn't because of his experience. I have concerns about judicial philosophy, particularly approach to religious liberty. He litigated against Catholic elementary schools, arguing that federal courts have the power to intervene in employment disputes involving teachers responsible for instructing students in the faith. That seems to be interfering in religious freedom. Additionally, we can hold a voice vote on the Speak Out Act bill. I'd like to applaud Senator Blackburn for her leadership on this bill. This is a very important issue, and the bipartisan bill will ensure that victims have the ability to speak out. I will vote yes on that bill. I'd like to also discuss, as you would expect me to, the Justice Department's and FBI's continued failure to respond to our oversight request. Starting May 31st this year, I've written 3 letters regarding political bias that seems to very clearly infected the FBI. 2 of those letters provided specific and credible allegations based upon numerous whistleblowers. The allegations show a deeply rooted political infection that spread to investigative activities into former President Trump and Hunter Biden. Based on allegations, the Justice Department and FBI approved investigative activities into Trump based on in a substantial part on, can you believe it, just liberal news articles and information derived from liberal nonprofit. On the other hand, the FBI shut down investigative activities, which include verified and verifiable information related to Hunter. That activity was entirely separate from the ongoing probe by a Delaware U.S. attorney. The Justice Department and FBI have failed to address the allegations that I've raised. So take notice. DOJ and FBI haven't even disputed these allegations. In light of the FBI's failure to respond, on August 17th this year, I requested a comprehensive organizational chart with the Washington Field Office. The purpose of this request is to better understand how the Washington Field Office is staffed and who is responsible for the units and squads within the office. More importantly, it's to prepare for future congressional interviews. The FBI has failed to provide even an organizational chart. What's so secret about that? I don't know. Also on August 25th this year, Senator Johnson and I wrote to two FBI employees, Nikki Flores, who's the intelligence analyst in charge of the Washington field office, and Bradley Buenavides, who's Deputy Assistant Director within the Counterintelligence Divisions. Now, these are the very same people that interviewed or briefed me and Senator Johnson August 2020. That's the emphasis briefing that was only done because of Democratic pressure to do it. And I want to tell you, 4 powerful members of the United States House and Senate urged the FBI to brief us in regard to that. And simply put, we didn't learn a doggone thing from that briefing. It was set up so things could be leaked. Certain colleagues on the other side used that briefing to falsely paint our then ongoing Biden investigation as advancing Russian disinformation. Now, you all know that that was a put-up deal because even the New York Times and the Washington Post have said now that we weren't pursuing Russian disinformation. The FBI has failed to respond to our request for information about that briefing. Therefore, Senator Johnson and I have requested that these 2 employees sit for a transcribed interview with us. Now, we've received no response. The Justice Department and the FBI continue to thumb their nose at this committee's oversight jurisdiction. So, we're not going to let up. My work to shine light on transparency in that department will continue just like it would with any department. I yield.